Hello and welcome to another episode of the Hilariously Unemployed. This is a special episode because I'm coming to you live and direct video. I'm your host and always your favorite opportunity seeker, Dana Duckworth, aka the Big Speaker. I'm so excited to be back with you all here on another Friday for this very, very special episode. I don't know if you all have been paying attention to my LinkedIn page and the page for the show, but I just celebrated 1 year of podcasting. July 14th was my podcast anniversary of when I first did the show, and I could not be more excited. I don't know how, but it feels like that year just went by in a blink. I've learned so much about podcasting, so much about unemployment, and so much about myself and what my mission is. And my vision is clear. I'm here to help people. Like, this show is going to get someone hired at some point. It's already made so many connections for so many people. And the community that I've been able to build over the last year has been one that has supported me and so many other people. It's my goal to continue to bring you resources, great stories, and a lot of laughs, y'all. And I look good. So a little bit of a look as well. I just got my hair done last night because y'all thought I was going to come out video and not look like this. Not for my first one out. Maybe catch me slipping a couple of months from now. But for this very special video episode, I have to get myself together, and together she is. All right, y'all. So I am so excited about today's episode because I'm bringing y'all some hits. I'm bringing some big wigs in here. I'm telling you some career stories that you want to hear. Thanks so much, Steve, for the congrats that you want to hear, and bringing resources on top of resources on top of resources. My big speaker rant this week is going to be short because I want to get right into it with my guests. I'll just tell y'all I am recharged, rejuvenated, refreshed, and ready to go. So with that being said, I love to welcome my next guest to the show to say hello to the Hilaries. I am welcoming Cam Ward, who is the founder and CEO of Black Men in Tech. Y'all know I love Black men.
How
Welcome,
you
Cam.
doing?
Hello to the Hilaries.
Hello. How y'all doing? Hey, listen, I'm super excited to be on the show. We've been cultivating this relationship for some time now. I'm excited that you got 1 year under your belt. So congratulations. Let this be the stepping stone to next year and many years after. So I'm excited, man. Let's get into it.
Let's do this. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, Kim. So, we're going to talk a little bit about your career journey. But
Yeah.
first things first, I ask every single guest this. Your case is a little bit unique. So, I'll ask, how long have you been hilariously unemployed by others?
So the longest stint I ever been like truly unemployed was probably like 6 months solid.
Mhm.
And that was because one career choice for me, right? Trying to figure out the path in which I wanted to go. And then the second part is like not jumping into a job just to get a check. Right. I was able to set myself up in a space where I can take my time and really like think about what I want to do next instead of just saying, oh man, I need a next check. So that's one of the coolest things about being in these positions, to make sure not only that you're not, running to the next check, but also you set yourself up in a way you use these jobs to make sure that you got some financial stability. So when you want a break, you can take a break.
Mhm. That is a lesson that I learned very hard way. I didn't necessarily take a break. They gave me one. And it was so important because I've always been the girl that's been so aligned with whatever brand it is that I
Yeah.
started, right? I'm
Yep.
like, oh, I'm in deep with them. This is my company. I've got that loyalty. If you know me, you know them.
Yeah.
And I had a brand, but I really wasn't cultivating it in the way that I was kind of forced to.
Hmm.
Once they
Hmm.
said goodbye, good riddance, and good luck. I
Hmm.
still love y'all though, and y'all love me too. All right, so let's talk about your early career because I know you kind of started in higher education.
Yes.
So walk me through how Cam got into the career world. What was your journey?
Yeah. So I went to undergrad and I studied family, youth, and community science, right? So it's like, what do you do with that degree, right? You want to help people, you want to do this thing. But see, then I said, you know what? I need money. So I was like, okay, I like sports medicine. Do I want to be an orthopedic surgeon? Okay, I like sports. I like sports in general. Do I want to do sports marketing? What's the quickest way to the bag, right? So I finished family, youth, and community science, and then went to the University of Maryland to do my college, my graduate degree in minority and urban education. At that point in my life, I was like, you know what? I want to help Black people, period. right? So I was like, I want to help people that look like me not only get to college, but finish college. What I didn't realize is that these people spend 4 to 5 years in college and then you recycle and get a new batch. Right.
Mhm.
So I kind of did the track of doing the higher education, diversity stuff, that sort of thing, bouncing from universities on the fast track. I was a chief diversity officer and I decided I didn't want to get a PhD. Man, that PhD was not for me. It's a lot of work. So I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do that. So I was at a crossroad. I was either going to do the PhD and become a cabinet president member, official cabinet president member of a university, or I was just going to be in this role where I'm a pseudo chief diversity officer, but I don't really have the expertise or the experience to sit at the cabinet level full time. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go to school full time. I'm gonna get a PhD. The worst decision in my life I ever made. But but at the same time, if you know anything about the hustle, you understand that you leave a full time job for a GA ship. That GA ship money very different, right?
Mhm.
So I had like 15 jobs. I literally worked 15 jobs. I worked at FedEx overnight, which is one of my favorite jobs in the world. I was loading planes. I worked at UPS. I was a consultant at 2 universities, but there's where I found my passion for moving into the tech space and the corporate space doing diversity work, because at that point I realized that I was good enough. Right.
Okay.
My manager told me one morning at 3 a.m. we was loading the plane, getting ready to go, and he was like, "Cam, why are you here?" And I'm like, "I'm here because I need a job." He said, "No, no, 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 no." He's like, "You're probably the smartest person in this building, but no one would ever know." And I was like, "What am I supposed to do? Walk around?" I was a little offended. I was like, "What am I supposed to do? Walk around with my degrees on my forehead?" Like, no, we tossing boxes in here. And he was like, "Let me introduce you to the diversity team at FedEx." And maybe y'all, and that's when I learned that I was good enough. I didn't have to get more, I didn't have to do more. So you never know where that moment of I'm good enough come from. So you always want to live in every moment, because that is truly important for me. For me, it propelled me to where I am now doing the work that I'm doing, but it was that moment that changed my life.
Wow. Okay. So you gave me a lot there. It resonates with me about walking in your passion and
Yeah,
people knowing,
yeah,
like people having the foresight to see that, like
yeah.
you're not
Something different.
here. You should not be here.
Right.
There is something else for you. And I've been, blessed to have so many people in my life saying, you should have a podcast. You should be
Yeah,
doing this. You can do
yeah,
that. Like your personality. Why don't you talk? Why don't you talk more? So I've had these people kind of whispering that in my ear for
yeah,
forever, right? And it wasn't until like yourself, like I knew, okay, girl, you are good enough.
yeah,
Like just
yeah.
do it. What's the worst thing that happen? You
Right,
fail, you
right.
learn a lesson. So, taking the pivot from higher education to now working in a corporate landscape, what was that pivot like for you?
It was rough because higher ed, we're academic focused, so it's a lot of words, a lot of
Mhm.
thought processes, a lot of in the corporate space. Yes, right now, fail fast. If you fail, let's do it again. Let's do it over. So for me, the transition was rough because I had to reset my mind into a space where it's like, okay, quicker is faster, fail fast is okay. You just do it over, right? Rinse and repeat, right? So that's super important to know. And that pivot can happen, but you got to give yourself grace and space to be able to make it happen. And you need good people around you to coach you up while you're making that transition. The two things that I lacked in that experience was coaches that made the transition before me to be able to say, Cam, slow down, shorten your words, make the strategy quicker and go. I remember my first project at my first tech company was a global overhaul of the diversity strategy around education. I came from education. My boss thought I was great at education, so she's like, teach everybody about diversity. And I went to Dublin, Sydney, Paris, London, Amsterdam, all these different places teaching diversity. But what I learned is true pedagogy moment is that when I took diversity to these other countries, I also learned something new,
Mhm.
right? Because diversity looks different in every space, right? So I was
Yeah.
like, dang, I was like, oh, so you don't think like the US, do you? Or
Mhm.
oh, you don't think. I was like, hmm. So it was a great moment for me because it taught me, something different. So I would tell everybody too, much like you would probably agree with, is that be a forever learner.
Yeah.
Always be in a space where you can learn something. Don't ever think you arrived because you haven't.
Yeah, that cultural competency is
Right.
something. we learn by ingratiating ourselves in other cultures. I mean, I am consistently learning from others. And that's why I
Yep.
stand so solid in allyship, because
Yep.
I
Yep.
have been taught so much by people who don't look like me.
Yep.
That has helped me help people who do look like me. So
Mhm.
you're right, it looks different in every space. And to your point of being a lifelong learner, as a girl who just got her first bachelor's degree last year from an
Okay.
right, we hold the greeting go. I think it was just important for me, even though like my degree wasn't supporting what I was doing as far as work.
Yep.
I think, and flash forward, like now my degree supports everything because I learned so much, and like my brain was just open to continue knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Flash forward, it's like, okay, what else can I be doing? No, I don't want to be in an institution for anybody's 4 years.
Right.
And I'm hilariously unemployed. Although I am a serial entrepreneur, I'm not paying anybody for anything else.
Mm-hmm.
How can I learn? And I've learned so much from my connections with people.
Yep.
So to your point, having a coach.
Yep.
I just got a coach, y'all. I'm a person, I don't like being told what to do. Okay. I do not. And that's why I am heavy into fitness, and I will not work with a trainer, because if you tell me what to do, I'm not going to do it. If I do it, I'm going to do it 4 weeks from now. And then I'm going to tell you, okay, I listen. Right. So I've always been hesitant to let people into my life, into my business, to kind of help me navigate things. Yep. And what I realized, this person was actually asking me if they could coach me because they needed some coaching clients. And they're like, I know you're going to be raw with your feedback, right? And I'm like, that. Here I am on the first call, like, okay, here we go. And it started off that we were talking about, okay, well, I was like, I don't really like nobody dipping in my career business. So let's go the relationship route. And I was like, when I got on the call, I was like, oh, I want a man. So let's not even talk about them. And she was like, I'm not going to be in your business. I'm going to help you gain the focus and clarity you need in order to navigate. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, I need you to say you're going to be an entrepreneur and not look back and not feel like you're going back into somebody's establishment. We're working on feeling that way, but it's just so nice to have somebody who's kind of walked the path before you or has seen more than you, be able to tell you like, hey, it's going to be rough, but if we put these things in place, okay, Hera, thank you, friend. We put these things in place, then we know at the end of the day, if you fail, you're going to fail up. So I feel really good about that. And thank you for acknowledging the role that coaches have had in your life. So let's get into a little bit of the hilarity of you being someone who worked in this DEI space. As you know, I'm a DEI consultant, and the tide has really changed on us. When I was doing my research on you, I noticed that in 2020, you had a shift where you were like, oh, I need to be doing something for Black men in the tech space. A similar shift happened for me because George Floyd was murdered. I was working in a sales capacity in my organization, and I was like, something's not right. I don't feel good here. How can I help the other Black employees? Founding a Black employee resource group, and then overseeing all the employee resource groups, DEI strategy, culture, and engagement, right? So that's a pivot for a lot of us. Let's talk about that change for you in 2020 when you were like, nah, enough is enough. I got to figure something else out.
Man, the thing about diversity work is so needed, but it's not always wanted, right? And what I mean by that is that, you know, people sometimes they say, yo, we need a diversity team, we need da. But then when you get it, it's like, well, what do we do with them? Right. So I found myself in those situations a couple of times where it's like, I want to do the work. I don't know how to do it. We call them sandpaper moments when they just rub you the wrong way or the leader the wrong way. It's like, I don't want to do this no more. I'm uncomfortable. Right. So in 2020, you know what happens when Black people go to companies, man, they go find all the Black people that work there. So listen, you be on LinkedIn, you be on the Slack channel, you know, you find everybody that look like you. So what I did was, one of the first things I did was I found all the Black dudes, because 2020 was rough. Not only was people getting killed unarmed, you know, every minority group, in my opinion, was under attack in some way, right? And it was turbulent times for us. So I found all the Black dudes, and I'm like, yo, I know I'm triggered. Are you triggered? And they were like, yeah, we all right, but they on the Slack channel. But then you get those messages off the Slack channel, like, hey man, this place is crazy. This place is whatever. So I said, all right, let's just start having calls. Let's just start like no agenda. We're gonna just sit on a Zoom, or we're gonna sit on there. We can work, we can talk, we can play music, we could just be. What I found out is that I found comfort in being around people that look like me with no agenda, right? And outside of that, I say, you know what, this is growing too big. I had to buy Zoom because at that time everybody was Zooming, but
Yeah.
everybody was on their free Zoom, right? So
That
then
30-minute cap.
right. So I had to buy Zoom, and I'm like, we got to do something with this. Not only could we use this as a community for us, but how are we impacting the community behind us. That's that family youth and community science degree coming out. See, I tell people this, and it's really funny, and it was a real moment for me, is that I ran for my degree earlier because it didn't make me enough money. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do this thing because I'm like, ain't no money in this, man. I need a check, right? But
Mhm.
then I end up full circle coming back to it, because the heart is in the people. When you walk in your purpose and you walk in your path, it's always going to be clear for you, meaning
Mhm.
that you can't run from it. So I started this community with the fellas at the job and that sort of thing. And then it's growing. It's just like, yo, we need more of it. Black women, we can't do nothing, not without y'all. We need you, allies. We need everybody. It's like, to really tell a point of view from the Black male perspective, not only in tech, but in corporate space, we need everybody to listen. How do we do that? We create a warm and welcoming space, right? So that's what we did with Black Men in Tech in 2020. We 3.5 years old. November made 4 years, but we built a space where it's warm and welcoming for everybody to come sit at our table and listen to the Black male perspective.
Yes, I met Cam at a tech conference I was a
Yeah.
brand ambassador for earlier this year, and I'm just like, "What's up?" Like,
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh no, this is the guy you should talk to." I'm like,
Yeah.
and then me and Cam started following each other, and he was like, "You should be here." He was telling me I should be at Render, and I was
Hmm.
like, I can't make it." So he's
Hmm.
a real entrepreneur, still,
Hmm.
it's a balance and act. But you were very intentional about saying, like, "Yo, what's up with the pod? Like, I'm gonna be on your podcast. I want to make
Yeah.
sure you can have any guests you want on your podcast. Like, what are
Yeah.
we doing?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what's up? What are
Yeah.
we?"
Yeah. But that's how, and honestly, that's how the community should be, right? So
Mhm.
I needed to get out of the way immediately. So when you talk to me, then you talk to Khalif, right? Like Khalif he's the project man. He gonna make sure it happen. And then when I'm like, yo, you was taking too long. Like I'm like, what is going on? Let's lock in, because I saw something immediately that needed to be tapped and cultivated. I'm like, yo, let's do it. Let's not waste time. I think the entire community should be that way at every given point. Like if you got a talent that can help better someone else, especially someone else that's doing something amazing, you should support it. Not only support it, but you should make sure you get behind it and push it. Right? If they're taking too long, push them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's time to go, because you never know where that next moment coming from if you're not in there cheerleading and helping on as well.
Yeah, man. Talk about running from your purpose. I am. She's a runner. She's a track star. So
Yeah.
thank you for the push. I want
Yeah.
to go back to that though, because that resonates with me so much. So I did just get my degree last year, but I
Yeah.
originally went to Norfolk State University when I first graduated.
Yeah.
And my degree was supposed to be in mass communication.
Mm. Look at you now.
That's wild to me,
Mhm.
considering like after that, I was like, no, I wanted to be a news anchor. I
Yeah.
really wanted to be on the news. Like
Mhm.
7 p.m. Friday, 95 degrees. I thought that would be me, right? And then flash forward to like going through that, and I was like, oh no, I don't like this. I
Right.
didn't like people seeing inside of anything I had going on.
Right.
So many years of my life, like playing the background, people were like, I didn't know you had all this personality. Yes,
Mhm.
you had to be really close to get it. But 2020 was just like, girl, what you hiding for? Like,
Yeah.
what are you hiding for? You have a voice that can help people. You can amplify other people's voices. Like, you are doing yourself and others a disservice by not walking in your
Right.
purpose.
Right.
My grandfather was one of the first Black radio show hosts here in Virginia. So, like,
Right.
the personality, being able to talk the
Yeah.
way that I do has always been in me. But again, that's the purpose that I've been running from. Now,
Mhm.
of course, I'm running towards it, but that just really resonated with me that, like,
Yeah.
your purpose is going to chase you down and beat you up if you don't start
Go
walking.
go get it. Yeah.
So, let's go back to talking about DEI, because this is heart work,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
How did you navigate the hard work when there are so many hurdles for people in the corporate space when they're like, yeah, we want DEI, we want these initiatives, but hold on red tape, hold on roadblock, hold on budget. How
Yeah.
did you navigate that?
Yeah. So for me, it was tough at first. Like I spent a lot of nights just trying to figure it out. I pulled out all my hair, as you can see. I have
Oh,
none. But but for me, I had to figure out, the hearts and mind of my colleagues and then the CEO to make diversity make sense for them, right? And it's a little song and dance in the beginning because you got to figure out the right messaging, the right wording, the right thought process. My CEOs that I work for, they was really passionate about diversity in certain ways, right? So, like for instance, most of it easy cake mentorship,
yeah.
right? That's always cool. And I told my CEOs because I have an opportunity to have authentic and transparent relationships with them, as well as I have to be able to receive that same authentic and transparent relationship because they know what they know and we all learn together. So I got to give them a bit of grace and space as well. But what I do is I'm saying, mentorship isn't the way to the diversity solve, right? Like you telling people what they should do is only perpetuating the cycle of what we systemic oppression that we dealt with for so many years. We meaning all minority groups. So what we started to do is put more funding into place. It's one of the things that's most important is access and resources and opportunities. We started to add funding to place. People love giving away money, especially to nonprofits because you feel like you do good work. Outside of that, we started to educate people, right, in a space where they were a part of the education system and not being told what you're saying wrong. If you come to me, much like you said about yourself, and said somebody tell you something, you're not going to do it.
No.
But if I walk with you and show you how this impact the community that you're not necessarily aware of, now I'm creating spatial awareness and cultural intelligence. So you just got to get super creative and think outside the box. You can't go in there and saying, well, you can. It might not work. You can't go in there and say, hey, this is mandated, or this is da da da, or because it doesn't work. But when you really walk with someone and truly meet someone where they are, because a lot of people say that too. Oh, I want to meet you where you are. No, you don't. Because where they are, they might not be where you want them to be. And they may say something crazy and you get mad and it'd be a whole situation. But if you truly meet people where they are and take them to where they want to go, they see you as a person that can lead them. And you have to have trust and vulnerability to be able to lead people. They got to feel like they trust you. And when they trust you, they move forward with you. They want to do better work because Cam said, or because someone said that thing that wants them to be a better person.
Absolutely. I completely agree. When I'm advising companies that I work with, when we're talking about DEI, I'm like, yeah, you want to do it, you're all in for it. But just like any other strategy, any other mission, project, or vision that y'all roll out in your organization, this takes time.
Right.
And
Right.
especially when I'm talking to the employees, like I know you want change and you want it now, right?
Right.
But changing anything in your benefits package, changing the software you
Right.
use, all of these things take time.
Exactly.
So you have
Exactly.
to be willing to give that time to the change in
Yes.
order for it to affect.
Yes.
So I want to talk about Black Men in Tech. I
Yeah.
mean, Cam, this is big. This
I
is
appreciate it.
major. When I talk to you, you're like, I'm always on the road. I was like, looking at your page yesterday, you were in DC, right?
Yeah. I just got back just like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, that's why he was running a little bit late, y'all.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh
And
my
you
God.
remember, so wait, hold on. So that it was an outage, right? So we luckily got out of DC. So I was like, yo, I gotta be here. I got you. I'm gonna be here. So no, I just walked in the house.
You know,
But
I wouldn't let you live it down. I was like, Cam
I
was on
know, I know. And you hit me like, yo, it's 3 minutes and we're going live. I said, yeah, I got it. I'm on it.
I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
go in there and look cute. Like, what's
Yeah.
up, y'all?
No worries.
But let's talk about Black Men in Tech.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about how it started with like
Yeah.
Zoom calls and you talking to others, but give us a little bit more about like, did you foresee any of this? What was I mean, I guess you don't know your end goal until you're in something that's this
Yeah.
exclusive,
Yeah.
but what were your thoughts when you first started to cultivate this and then you started to see that it was scaling?
So for me, I didn't think Black Men in Tech would be what it is right now, and then what it could be in the future. I'm a team person, so shout out to my entire team that helped me do this. I don't do this alone. I have a team of people that believe in the vision from the beginning, and they help me push it forward. So shout out to all of them. At the same time, when I built this thing, when I thought of this thing, so you want to talk about something hilariously funny. So when I built this thing, you know how you get that moment where you're like, oh, I got it, something I want to tell the people that's closest to me, right? So
Mhm,
I remember I woke up one morning, I was getting ready to go work out, and I called one of my best friends in London, right?
mhm.
Called him and said, hey man, I got this thing. It's 6 a.m. my time, it's afternoon their time. I'm like, hey man, I got this thing. I'm really excited. I'm all pumped up about it. Bro looked at me and said, hey man, that'd be good in about 2025. That'd be cool. He was like, I'm not gonna help you either, but I'll support you. I'll support you. And I'll talk to you about it.
Mhm.
And I was like, what you talking about deflated? I was like, I called you with so much E about this, right? And he just like, yeah, it sounds nice. That's just him though in this way. But what it told me immediately is that I had something amazing that I couldn't let just one phone call diminish, right? So
Mhm.
after that, first of all, Brett's one of my biggest supporters. So he was just putting on, he just didn't want to gas me in the moment because I was gassed up. So he had to
Gotta
deflate me.
love your friends.
Yeah, but whatever. But when we built this thing, right, it was just like, okay, we're gonna do something, we're gonna do something amazing, but it's all about the heart of it is mission first. We're gonna get back to the community. Like, what do we as Black people need the most of at this time? We need access, we need
Mhm,
opportunities, and we need to get in front of brands and company. What do we not have right now because of 2020? We don't have lots of funding, right? We don't have lots of money. So how can I do a lot with a little bit? So I threw a free conference. I got Chains to come on. I got Tristan Walker to come on. I got all these videotapes that I did these things with. I said I'm gonna make a virtual conference and we're gonna make it for free. I didn't
mhm,
know who was gonna come. We hit up B Cox. We hit up a bunch of different people. It's like we're gonna do this thing and make it free. I didn't know 7,000 people was gonna come to a virtual free conference from 27 countries. I didn't know the thing was happening. And I'm like, okay, well, we got to keep going. But our mission can't just be a conference. Our mission can't be just one thing. We have to
mhm,
be multifaceted because we know that Black people, in particular Black men, need a multifaceted approach to get involved. If I
mhm.
do conferences, I'm only going to get the conference goers. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If I do one thing, so how can we do multiple things to make sure we touch as many people as we can? And that's what we're building now. We're doing a cigar tour. You said we was in DC last night. We're in New York in a couple weeks, and then we're also in Charlotte at the end of the month. We just added Charlotte, so shout out to Charlotte. But it's all about just cultivating a space where a community happens in any way. We can be doing community service project. We could be feeding
Yeah.
teachers. We could be building tech labs. We could be doing whatever. But as long as we're doing it in a way that's going to benefit our community, that's the reason why we do it.
He was talking about 2 Chains, y'all, when he said chains. I know,
Oh
like,
yeah,
I know we know him by his first and last name, Two and Chains, but Cam knows him just by Chains. So just to let y'all know,
my bad. Yeah,
Black Men in Tech is a really big deal to
yeah.
me. So make sure you're following and supporting the movement.
I appreciate it.
So back to everything that you all are doing. I really want my audience to have a good grasp
Yeah.
of the way that you are cultivating this space and connecting with Black men literally everywhere. Every time I see you, you're in a different city, there's a different event. So
Yeah.
you talked about the virtual conference, but I
Yeah.
know the person conference is coming up in
Yeah.
October
Yeah.
with the theme of Thrive. Talk
Yeah.
to me about
Yeah.
the actual in-person conference this October.
Yeah, so this will be our fourth in person, our third. I'm sorry, our third in person experience, and it's called Thrive. It's at the Westin Fort Lauderdale Beach Resort.
Mm,
Now, 30 steps from the beach is absolutely beautiful property. And what we do October 10th through the 13th is have a full scale event. What that means is that you have pre con tracks where you get a certificate, you have sessions that's ran by some of the most powerful people in the world, and you have workshops that are led by people like you, having conversations, making it make sense. Then you have a nighttime vibe as well, right? The thought process is that if you ever been to Super Bowl week or NBA All Star Weekend or any
or,
other thing,
I
you know
have
what I'm saying? This is a space where it's like a family reunion. One of our teammates always talk about it being like the cookout of tech conferences, meaning that you're gonna get some tech stuff, right? You're gonna get non-tech stuff as well, but you're also going to get time to see the people that you've seen all year because we do think about us, we do year-round programming. So
Mhm.
we do conferences, we do summits, we go to immersion programs programs at companies. We do a bunch of different stuff. So this is like the culmination of our entire year. Like think of an end of the year celebration where we're still teaching, you're still learning, but you're seeing everyone from CEOs to high school students all in the same space learning from each other. So really excited. Early bird sales go off on July 28th. The ticket is super affordable, I believe so, and I hope you believe as well. But yeah, it's just you got to come experience it. I can't tell you enough about it until someone walks in the door and say, yeah, I got my own story. And that's the most important part for us.
Okay, y'all ready for some laughs? So you said that people like me are leading these panels. However, I am not, in fact, going to be there leading a panel this year, but we are going to put it in the air for me to be there hosting something or some other next year because, I love Black Men in Tech.
So that's how you tell me that you ain't coming to conference this year, huh? Okay. Talk offline. We'll take that offline.
See,
when you say, hey, we'll take that offline. Okay. Can't wait to get backstage now.
If I'm booked, I'm there. That's like the obligation. But we will talk about how I can be more of a face there. But you're talking about this conference, right? And it's Black Men in Tech. What space do other people have there? Because I'm a Black woman and I want to know where the Black Men in Tech are. I love my brothers. I actually shout out to Trash Can. I just launched a brand ambassadorship with the company that I believe wholeheartedly in. My brother Eddie, he is a Black founder and CEO of the Trash Can app. And I'm telling him, like, yo, you should go to Thrive and take me with you.
What is Trash Can? Come on, plug it. You gonna say
yes. So Trash Can partners with valet trash providers. Our industry is multifamily housing to really make it super easy for your residents and for yourself to connect with the valet trash people to make sure your community is pristine. So when you see me, Big Speaker, just know I'm powered by Trash Can now, y'all.
Yeah, love that. That is dope.
Yeah. So we can pull up to Thrive because I keep telling him he came out to Diversitech, but he was only there the last day. And I was like, yeah, you are a tech founder. He was like, man, I'm a geek. And I'm like, well, yes. But also, this space is for you. So what space do Black women allies have at a conference like Thrive?
So we're very intentional about our programming, and I thank you for throwing me this alley hoop to share this moment because we're very intentional. While it's called Thrive and it's centered around the voice of the Black man, we leave space for Black people, Black women in particular. We want people to see themselves at the conference. So we have panels or micro sessions dedicated to different topics. For instance, Allies in Action. We got one to call Women About Their Business. We got one called Black and Out, focused on the LGBTQ community. We got things focused on Afro Latino, Afro. I forgot the name of the topic, but it's geared towards individuals that are Latin but have a Black experience as well. My thought process is to make sure that Black people as a whole understand that we're not all the same. We're very different, and then for allies to realize, hey, you can be in a room and not take up all the oxygen, but you can see yourself at the table. So we're very intentional about hosting panel discussions, micro sessions, being truly inclusive in a conversation because it's going to take all of us to move the needle and move things forward.
Absolutely, Cam. So the conference, it's a huge thing. You're touching so many different demographics. There sounds like it's space for everyone. And it sounds like it's a very memorable experience. I mean, I am going to talk to my folks because it does sound like somewhere we absolutely need to be because
including you.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, okay. As long as you
we, it's a metaphorical we. It's just me in here. I don't have no
including you, because you're like, oh wait, I'm not. No, what? Okay. Yeah, got you.
Hey, put me on the panel, and I'll be there.
Okay, got you.
All right. I know the schedule's probably already out, but anyway, if anybody falls out, you already know. I want to talk about some of the smaller events that you do. I don't want to call it micro because everything you do is like major because of the impact. Let's talk about some of the events you have, like the cigar event that you just had yesterday, or some of the other pop-ups that you do.
Yeah, so it's important for us to make sure that we go and meet people and go and engage our community. So we picked the 5 cities or the 6 cities at this point that we have truly lots of engagement in, and we decided on a cigar tour. Talk about being hilariously funny though is that we started this cigar tour at another event we was having. So we do a source summit every year. Up to 35 fellas and their family go on this international trip. This year we went to the Bahamas, right? So we're literally on top of Carnival Cruise Line after one of our night huddles, and we're smoking cigars, and someone goes, "Hey, we should do a cigar tour." So my head of events pulls out his phone and sits there and start typing like, what cities we're going to. And within an hour, we had all 5 cities lined up. And then within a month or two later, we started our first tour date. And it was super cool because the organicness and just to being able to be in the space and be able to do things that you say you're going to do, that's important for us and that's important for our mission. So we do a cigar tour, we do a source summit. We just came back from McDonald's in Chicago where we did Tech Connect. We take 90 people to McDonald's and they do interviews out there. They meet the McDonald's staff, the tech staff. They learn all about McDonald's. Absolutely amazing. We had 10 of our scholars there as well. We do book bag drives, we feed teachers, we do all these things, but it's all in the name of keeping the mission first. Our first mission of Black Men in Tech early on was we wanted to rewrite the narrative on the Black male experience. And the way we showed up in 2020, if there was any indication of how Black men and Black people as a whole needed to show up different, we wanted to make sure we were showing up in a way that is consistent with what I believe our community is.
Oh, there's my partner right there from Trash Can saying, I don't even smoke. I want to go. Hey, I told you.
Hey, listen, half the people that come to cigars and conversation don't smoke a cigar or drink. But
Yeah.
like half the people, but people come because of the opportunity to learn about cigars, right? To learn about pairings, right? And then you just hang out. Like last night, we had about 60 or 70 people in a Black-owned, women-owned cigar bar in DC, and half the people standing out the door having conversation inside. And some people were smoking cigar, but other people were learning. I remember I taught people last night they different cuts of cigars, and they appreciate it. So it's all good. Eddie, come on, man, come on and be a part. Stop running from us, man. Come on.
Black Man Tech CEO. Okay. You're a Black Man Tech.
We need to learn about Valet Trash Can at conference,
Trash
man.
Can app, yeah.
Hey, all pressure. Hey, look, putting all the pressure on them right now live.
Absolutely, I love it so much. So you talked a lot about your community service aspects. It's something that means so much to me. I'm a member of the Urban League here in my city, and like the thing, it's just so important to me when I do that type of work. I just feel so fulfilled, and I'm like, what next? What else can I do? How else can I give back? How can people get involved with some of your community service efforts?
Yeah, so if you're in the city where we're doing community service, you just tap into that local leader. Most times with our community service projects, we do them intentionally where the whole team can be involved. But we have had pop-ups where individuals in other cities say, Cam, I want to lead a service project. Can you help us out? Or Cam, so we do that as well. So anytime, the best way to follow us on all IG platforms and all social platforms. At the same time, get on our mailing list. Our mailing list, you get emails almost every week about all the things that's coming up and what we're doing. And also in 2025, we're going to do some new cool things that we've been beta testing for a while, but one of them is making sure we have a quarterly give back opportunity. And the coolest thing about that is that we talk about expanding and growing. I'm realizing that I can't be everywhere at the same time because I want to be a part of everything. But that growth opportunity, right, and that scaling is happening. So even as a CEO, even as you continuously learning, and you need to continuously be uncomfortable, because when you're uncomfortable, you grow. It's like I can't be there, but my team is there. I can't be there, but someone is leading it. And it's just like, okay, cool. You gotta have the opportunity. So I'm having a very vulnerable moment with you right now. But it's about making sure you stay uncomfortable, but also you don't let your comfort level get in the way of the mission of your organization.
Yeah, that's the word right there. Making sure that you are uncomfortable, because you are doing uncomfortable for a whole year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Kim. So talk to me a little bit more about the structure of Black Men in Tech and how people can, I know you said to follow you and join the mail list. Is Black Men in Tech an organization that you join, or just an organization that you follow, subscribe, and pull up and show out whenever they are doing whatever they're doing?
It's both, right? So it's yes and right. So we're beta testing membership right now. We're going to fully launch it in 2025. We're trying to work out the kinks in the platforms and that sort of thing to have actual membership piece that goes along with it. At the same time, we're truly organic people. Hey, we throw an event. We're in your city. Come pop out on us. Also come join us at any other piece. But the main thing I can tell you right now, as we 90 days out. So this is a good time to talk to you today because July 19th is literally 90 days out from conference. So lock in the conference as well. If that's going to be your experience, you're going to have a great experience. The team does an awesome job of putting it together. At the same time, you're going to get so much out of it. What I love about it the most is that people leave with new connection and new friendships and new opportunities where it might not be an opportunity for you right now for a job, but I've heard of people 3-4 weeks down the line, a month down the line, get a job because of Thrive Conference. And that's the most important thing. And then when you run into people at other companies, hey man, I can't wait to see you at Thrive. It's that family aspect that we love. So please tap into it. So it's yes and yeah, right. Pull up on us, but also if you want a beta test membership, provide feedback, that sort of thing, you can do that as well.
Absolutely, Kim. I am the mother of 16-year-old twin boys. So for me, like when I say I love Black men, it's not just because I'm single.
Right.
I love Black men because I'm raising two of them.
Why are you
And
not bringing them to conference this year?
okay, Kim, it costs.
Hey, hey, listen, I know a guy. I know a guy.
It's two of them.
Hey, listen,
Um,
offline conversation. Come on, man. We got a lot to talk about offline.
offline catching up
Yeah.
to two. But for me, I'm telling them that like the STEM careers are the ones. Y'all
Mhm.
play video games anyway. You're all into this, all into that. Anytime I can't figure anything out, it's just a call away. So
Yeah.
really trying to engage them in a way of like you could be a founder, you could
Yeah.
create, you could do that, and showing them that like, hey, they were so used to me having the traditional career path, and they laugh and they call me big speaker, and they think it's so funny. But I'm like,
I
big is
love
gonna be big book, big busy, and making big money while you're laughing.
All right, so check this out. So check this out. Here's what we're gonna do. I need you to bring the boys to conference. All right. So what that means to me is that I'm saying this right on this here, and it's truly who I am. So it's not putting on. I need you to bring them to conference. What that means to me is that I'm gonna make sure that their ticket is taken care of, and I'm gonna make sure they meet the people that need to meet. I just got off the line with the gaming company that's gonna come and be a part of the conference. So if they game, it's important for them to be in the space. We do have a portion on the Friday where high school students participate in conference. So I need your boys to come participate in conference as well.
You heard it here first.
Hey,
Kim has gotten me and my kids to come to Thrive Conference.
hey man.
And I'm encouraging you to pull up too.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about being hilariously unemployed. So, if you
Mhm.
are an entrepreneur, if you are a Black man, if you are a Black man in tech, if
Yeah.
you are a Black woman, if you are somebody who stands alongside us and believes in our
Yeah.
dreams, our goals, our mission, and our vision, this conference is really for all of you, all
That's
of us to be together and cultivate that community. When we
mhm.
talk about hilarious unemployment, what type of resources or exposure will this garner people who are looking for their next job?
Yeah, so every year we have about 20 to 25 brands that come ready to hire. I think last year 6 people left with offers from companies, and what they do is that they have a space called we have a space called Recruiter Row that all the companies are there actually actively recruiting. More so though, we have this space called the Resource Center where you're getting help working on your resumes and
Mhm.
you're taking photos, new headshots. You know, you're talking to the recruiters and you say, "Hey man, I want to work at Amazon."
Mhm.
Amazon Recruiter is helping you with your resume to make sure it makes sense to them. Hey, man, I want to work at F5. The senior director for technology is working with your resume. How often do you get to go to a brand that you want to work at and have someone focus on your resume for 30, 35 minutes, just you and them, just walking it through to help you be more appealing to the rest of the recruiting team? Those are things that we offer at our conference that set people apart, and then you cultivate the relationship. So it might not be right now because everything isn't right now, but
Mhm.
think about a person that you can call like Damien from Intuit or someone like one of the leaders in the recruiting diversity space and say, Damien, I see this role. Could you help me land this role? Christina at Fastly, I see this role. James from F5. These are actually leaders in their recruiting spaces for their brands. That's like, we're hiring and you can make a phone call to them. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And that's what I try to tell individuals when they are trying to get into the tech game or even trying to move in your career. It's about the people.
Yeah, it is definitely about the people. People have been a guide to my success in so
Right.
many different ways, in so many different spaces. So we are talking about tech. What about those who are looking for access to capital because they have
Mhm.
investing?
Right. So we do have a bunch of VCs that come and be a part of conference, but they're part of conference in authentic ways. So we have VCs that are engineers, we have VCs that are come from the music industry, we have VCs that do other things. The reason why they're VCs is because they believe in the tech space, because they believe in brands and companies. I work with individuals that are truly like caring about the product. Like if I could find somebody that care enough about a product, then we can get it funded. Funding mean that you have the opportunity to the scale, pass your family and friends round, and then move to the next level to your series rounds, right? But these people that come, they're not coming necessarily to be like, yo, I'm looking for the next product. But if I happen to find somebody that's passionate, they love their product, you can sell it. Oh yeah, I'm a back that, right? And that's what I love about conferences, especially our conferences, that no one walks around with a name badge or a title. Everybody walks around as a human. So you can run into. I remember one time, one of our students, and this is pretty cool. One of our students that was there, our scholars were there, and they was on the elevator with the CEO of a brand, and they had a whole conversation. So when I get off the elevator, I see them, and I'm like, oh shoot. I said, ex-student, you know who you're talking to? They're like, no, I'm talking to some guy. Da, da, da. Oh, okay, that's some guy actually runs a multi-billion-dollar business. Oh shoot! Now he ran down the hall to talk to him again, right? But but the cool part about it is the natural conversation that was happening was didn't even care about your name and title. Don't even
Yeah.
care what you do. I'm interested as you as a person, and then when we could connect humans to humans, that's when we really make change in our community.
Man, you know what I love about CEOs is they really just want people to talk to them regular and tell them the truth.
Right.
And so many people,
Nobody cares what you actually do. People just want to hang out. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah,
important.
and people are so scared when they're like, "Oh, he's a CEO." I'm like, "Yo, I had the best experiences with
Right.
CEOs at companies."
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of, I am on a little CEO run. So if you are
Okay.
here this week and enjoy this episode, the next episode I will be featuring the CEO of Earn Better, talking
Nice.
about their resources that they provide to people like you and my audience, hilariously unemployed folks, to help you navigate your career. Cam, what do you want to leave people with from this? Because we've had a great conversation. I've
Yeah.
learned so much. I did some research on you, but you've taught me so much about, Black men in tech and just you as a person and how everything you do has to be genuine.
Right. Right.
So what do you want people to know about you as we wrap this up, about the brands, and just about life? Give my audience who is
Yeah.
struggling to find their next role a little light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I would tell you immediately a couple things. The first thing is that inclusion to me is the most important thing in this journey of belonging and diversity. My personal belief system is that diversity is pretty easy to get to. You invite enough people, they show up, they come, nothing happens. Inclusion is a step beyond tolerance. To build tolerance, you got to have trust and vulnerability. When you have trust and vulnerability, and people start to let you lead them, and then they feel included, then we get to the space about belonging. So I'm truly a believer in the word inclusion, and how we get from inclusion to belonging is that bridge that we need to work and build together. I would also tell you, follow our brand, please. Even though it's called Black Men in Tech, it was very intentional, because in 2020, I needed a space to be able to cultivate Black men. You don't have to be in tech. You don't have to even like tech. You just have to be really cool, right? As an individual, you don't have to even be a man. You could be anyone. What you get though is the Black male perspective on our space in the corporate world, right? So definitely lock into us on all social platforms at BLK. So don't spell blackout. It's not the color, right? BLK. MENINTECH on all levels. Come to conference if you can. The last thing I'll tell you is be human. What that means is that in every aspect in life, you never know where your next blessing coming from. You never know where your next opportunity. So live in the moment. Take every opportunity you can. Answer every call you can. Show up to every volunteer opportunity that you can, because you never know where your next opportunity, your next blessing, your next word of encouragement, your next "you are good enough" is coming from. That's going to propel you to that multi-million-dollar deal, to that next job, to that opportunity. So live in the moment and be that person. Also, remember to give back. I'm a firm believer into whom much is given, much is required. So continue to give back, continue to lean in, and then be okay with people in your business.
Yes.
Be okay, because if they can help you, and if you can help them, that's all that matters. Now, no, don't put people in your business just to be in your business, but make sure it's a purpose behind it. But be okay with people being in your business, because when you uncomfortable is when you're growing and when you learn it. So let's continue to stay uncomfortable.
Awesome, Cam. You put that right in a bow for us. My tagline is the key to inclusion is transparency. I
Yes.
sell all of my business in hopes of cultivating an inclusive space. I've seen it.
Mhm.
So give it a try.
Mhm.
Cam, I cannot thank you enough for
Of
joining me
course.
today on this, what I'm calling my anniversary episode
Yeah,
for
let's do it.
after the 1 year. And you were like, you don't do video? And I was like, no, but it's
Yeah.
video. You see those people that push you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Push you right off the cliff. So video, y'all. I'll still leave a space to my guests who are hilariously unemployed and want to tell their story, but still have that vulnerability and
Yeah.
don't want to be on camera. But y'all gonna see this space as long as my hair is done. I'm gonna show up. Kim, but again, I can't thank you enough for being here with me today, taking the time to share more about Black men in tech, and honestly, for cultivating a space for Black men.
Yeah.
It's so important, especially in the corporate space. Black women have a huge presence in the corporate space, right? Black men, we're trying to bring you along. We want to be there alongside of you. So I love to see an initiative that is specifically driven towards Black men in tech. Black men, I love y'all real bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, hilarious. Thank you so much for tuning in to my first ever video episode. Thank you for 1 year of downloading, subscribing, and giving your girl 5 stars. Lord knows I need them. Continue to support the show, share it with folks, share it with anyone who is hilariously unemployed. If you know somebody with a really funny unemployment story, send them my way, because I'm always booking for guests. I want to thank you all again for joining me. I've been a big speaker, y'all. I'm gonna log off. Bye.
All right. Bye.